Mayor McCallion?
Well, I know you referred to Councillor Giles. Let's refer to McKechnie and David Cullen, etc. Automatically, whether council decides it or not, you can rest assured the mayor's office will get the calls. I'm already dealing with one in Ward 5. So it's automatic. They'll call the mayor's office, and I assume I take the responsibility and I depend on the staff in the respective councillor's ward to be able to provide me with all the background information that would be necessary in order to deal with an issue. So it falls to the mayor's office. Whether the council directs it or not, the calls will come to the mayor's office.
Thank you. Councillor Starr?
Yeah, the other question I had, which will be something we'll learn later, I suppose, is that the councillor did have staff that were with her for quite a while, and whether that staff stays on or whether they go with the new MP, whether they can handle some of that. I mean, that's just, and I don't need an answer now, Madam City Manager, just that maybe that's another sidebar that, that can be done to help out in the meantime. And yes, matter of fact, I think probably all of us will get a call. I got a call, and they said, well, so what? She's just across the road from you. I said, well, no, it's in a different ward, And so I think we'll start to see some of that. But I'm looking forward to the report more than anything else. I think we can probably sit here all day and speculate as to what, who, and what, and where. But your report, I think, will probably clarify a lot of those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Eve? I don't know whether I should be calling you Councillor Adams or Councillor Adams.
Well, I was going to wait until my last meeting, but if I could take this opportunity to thank everybody for the many years of service. We've all worked together as a wonderful team for over 7 years, and I look around at the faces, and this is also Karen Ann's last meeting, and she's been just an exceptional member of the clerk's team for years and years. And there have been a lot of people that have served our city, and certainly Ward 5 over the years that have now retired and moved on, and I do want to pay tribute to all of them, because it really is a team effort when you're serving your residents. And at the end of the day, I think all of us around this table, though we might have different opinions on how we get there, the driving force for everyone is serving our residents and making our city just a better city, a more livable city, and improving our residents' quality of life. So I'd like to thank all of my colleagues. You've certainly supported me over the years, and I can think to many folks. Councillor Mahoney, who was exceptionally kind to me when I first started, and Councillor Yanika when I was first pregnant, and made that announcement. No, well, he did ask me to name my son Mando. Councillor Carlson, who has been nothing but an exceptionally kind friend to me. We sat next to one another for 4 years at this council table, and next to one another for 7 years at the Region of Appeals table. And so, we've certainly gone through many issues together. And as I've worked to put together an action agenda on behalf of my residents, he was usually the first person I bounced my ideas off of, and the first person I'd begin lobbying on behalf of my residents. So I feel very sorry for you, but I'd also like to thank you for always providing excellent counsel. Councillor McFadden, you have been just this wonderful breath of fresh air that has come and infected us with enthusiasm at this council chamber. And you work awfully passionately for your residents. I want to thank you for your advice and your counsel. And Mayor McCallion, you're obviously clearly very passionate on behalf of our residents. We've enjoyed and been able to build much in the city because of wonderful reserves that were built up over many years. And that took clear determination and restraint over many years to build that up, along with some wonderful development charges. But I would like to pay tribute to you. Councillor Mahoney, Councillors Yanika have already addressed. Councillor Sato, you're very passionate about traffic safety items and crime and representing your constituents, and I'd like to thank you for all of your hard work over the years. Councillor Starr, we haven't had much of an opportunity yet to work together, but I know you'll do great things for Ward 6. Councillor Dale, who's been the other gentleman that's been sitting next to me for years and years. has always been such a gentleman and such a class act, and has provided exceptional counsel when we've tried to, for instance, address a number of traffic items, or we've had committee votes come up. He really has been a wonderful, wonderful resource. Councillor Fonseca, I wish you all the very best. I'm so excited for you and your young family, and I think you're going to do wonderful things in Ward 3. And I'd like to pay tribute to former Councillor Prentice, who was always just wonderful and a lady, and always spoke up very passionately for Ward 3 items. And Councillor Mullen, you are you're exceptional, whether it's Peel housing up at the region of Peel, or different social items, or green items, or cycling, or really about balancing the budget here at the City of Mississauga. You're very good at looking at the numbers and showing compassion towards our residents, and at the end of the day, delivering really what matters most to residents. So I'd like to thank you for your exceptional service to our city and to our region. And Councillor Toby, I wish you all the very best. I apologize that we haven't had more of an opportunity to work together, Councillors Toby, Fonseca, and Starr, but I know that you've got our city's best interest at heart, and I'd like to thank you for that. To our civil service, you're exceptionally professional, and like to a person. Councillors Mitchum, Councillors Jackie, and John Calver, and Mark Powell, and Janice Baker, and Brenda Burrow, and Mary Ellen Pitch. And you really are all just top-notch. And much of what we've done as a city would not have been possible without some really wonderful research from all of you, and putting together really strong cases. And you know, I could look to any department and tell you how meaningfully you've impacted the residents of Ward 5. You know, I looked at transportation and works. We're undertaking Mississauga's largest transit expansion in our history. We're currently building the BRT. We now have wheelchair and stroller accessible buses running in Malton. I mean, these are meaningful things that make a difference to people's lives and really genuinely improve their quality of life. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you every time I've bent your ear and come to you asking to put together a business case and an action plan on behalf of residents. You have taken the time, and you know, we may not have agreed initially, but as we would come back and revisit the issue over and over, I think at the end of the day we'll all agree that we came up with a really strong plan that we were able to execute that at the end of the day benefits all of our residents. In planning, we've done great things. You know, we've protected the quality of our neighborhoods, and we've named an entire community. I mean, Britannia, the southern portion of my ward, now finally has a name, and how wonderful of an experience was that? We have communities across the city, and everyone knows their names. Malton, Applewood, some were named because of some historic reasons, some were named by developers, some were named like Lakeview simply because of their geography. But the southern portion of my ward didn't have a name. So if you lived somewhere between Eglinton and Matheson, and between Mavis and the 403, it had no name. And so we undertook to research sort of the historical basis to some possible names, and the planning department combed through all of those ancient atlases. And then I put it out there to our residents and engaged wonderful schools and all of our church groups, and then put it out to all of the residents across Ward 5 and said, you know, these are our front-running names. Here's the basis on which we've come up with these names. If you'd like to submit another name, we'll certainly circulate that and ask you to vote on that. But please vote and help name your community. And I think that's a wonderful experience. We had so many school groups that were so engaged by that process, and they were the ones that really picked up on it. And we had just thousands of entries based on that. And I think that will be a wonderful memory for those students when they grow up, to say that they were a part of naming their community. You know, and that's just one very small thing that we did a couple of years ago. And so the southern portion of Ward 5 is now named Britannia. I mean, how wonderful is that we've created a little piece of history? And then community services, my goodness. The wonderful, wonderful things that Commissioner Mitchum has helped to build in Ward 5. And I think of the fire stations that we've built, to the wonderful park reconstructions. And when you go up to Malton, how we've modernized some 40 and 50-year-old parks and really made a difference to the quality of life for our young families, so kids can go out and play and enjoy themselves in more modern amenities. And at the same time, we're improving home values. for all of the surrounding neighborhood by providing modern and current-looking amenities. So I want to thank you for working with me to deliver all of those wonderful things. It certainly would not have been possible without this massive team effort. And at the region of Peel, it's the same story. I mean, we now have an ambulance station in Malton. We previously not had an ambulance station. We had to hold off on the opening of it because of the federal election. But these are wonderful resources, and we've truly changed the face of Ward 5, and I hope to the benefit of all of our residents. And I hope to continue with that and make you all proud as I go to Ottawa and deliver real results for our community and for our great city. I know that the other MPs across the city are also incredibly keen to take up the challenge and to do good for our community in Ottawa. To those candidates that put their name forward and weren't so successful, I'd like to pay tribute to them. It takes a lot of humility to put your name on a ballot, put your name on a sign, and take the risk of whether or not your neighbors and your friends will vote for you. And federally, it's not all determined by the individual, to be sure. There is a very strong component that comes from the platform and from your leader. And it's always difficult to put your family and put your friends out and ask them to support you. And when that falls short, it would be very disappointing. So I do want to compliment all of the folks that have served our community in years past, and all of those that put their names on the ballot for the first time and came up a little short. But I'm very keen and very excited to continue working for our great city. And I wish all of you all the very best.
Thank you, Ian. I'm going to suggest that, do we need to go in camera? We still have one item to deal with, but before the mayor leaves, and she's leaving now anyway, do we need to go in camera for the report?